Ladies and gentlemen, Trump is talking about doing an executive order, mortgage moratorium until the end of the year. Now, we all know this is a political move. It's an election year, so he needs to look like he's doing something, although his executive orders have amounted to a bunch of nothing for real. It has not benefited anyone at all. Okay, the payroll tax is turning out to make people owe money next year. And you got the unemployment benefits that he said was going to be $400. It's turning out to be $300 a week for many people in America. So that went from 600 to 300. And people are still waiting for that. There are a lot of people in this country, millions of people, that haven't even gotten the measly little $300 a week yet. So, I mean, no matter how you look at this thing, it is a big, big mess. It really, truly is. So, this is USA Today, September 1st, 2020, relying on a public health law intended to prevent the spread of illness. The Trump administration said Tuesday it is implementing a national 4-month moratorium on residential evictions. Now, this is really a shame because a lot of people have been pushed onto the streets over these past several weeks now. And those folks can't go back to the same place they got thrown out of. So, I mean, you just created a big mess by waiting so long to come up with this eviction moratorium. This should have been done back in August. I mean, like the very early part of August, or at least the end of July. It should have been done way 4 or 5 weeks ago. The moratorium announced by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention was the latest measure by the administration to get a handle on the economic fallout from the coronavirus pandemic, absent an agreement with Congress on a more far-reaching package that would have forced the law. To stop evictions, health officials are relying on a 1944 Public Health Service Act, which gives the administration broad quarantine powers. The moratorium, which will run through December 31st, applies to individuals earning less than $99,000 a year and who are unable to make rent or housing payments. Trump is committed to helping hardworking Americans stay in their homes and combat the spread of the coronavirus. White House spokesman Brian Mortenstern told reporters Tuesday. The move drew a mixed reaction from housing experts, praise that it would potentially keep tens of millions of Americans in their homes, but concerned it will only, when deadline time come, they're concerned, evictions will kick up again. Because we know they're not resolving COVID by December 31st. You can best believe that. This thing ain't going to be gone by then. All right, so it's not clear if they're going to be doing something for landlords. I think they should. I think they shouldn't be wasting their money on pastors in this country. I think that money should go to landlords to help the tenants out with rent, even if it's a percentage of their rent. I mean, I think that would be better than doing nothing or giving money to a bunch of pastors. Come on now. The very least the federal government ought to do is assure each of us that we won't lose our homes in the middle of a global pandemic, said National Low Income Housing Coalition President Diane Yentel. But while an eviction moratorium is an essential step, it is a half measure that extends a financial cliff for renters to fall off when the moratorium expires and rent is due. All right. So some, of course, are saying they are disappointed that Trump is doing this. I guess they're satisfied if millions of people are on the street. But an eviction moratorium will ultimately harm the very people it aims to help by making it impossible for housing providers, particularly small owners, to meet their financial obligations and continue to provide shelter to their residents. Uh-huh. Okay, so the National Apartment Association said they are deeply concerned by the moratorium. The lack of money for rental assistance risk and creates a cascade when apartment owners do not receive rental payments and then fell behind on maintaining their properties and paying property taxes or mortgages. Yes, I agree with that. Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin told lawmakers on Capitol Hill earlier Tuesday that the announcement on evictions would likely leave them pleased, but he acknowledged it was not a substitute for congressional action. The White House and the congressional Democrats have stalled in talks to approve another stimulus, allowing many relief programs to expire. And it didn't have to expire. That package went to the Senate back in May. It didn't have to, but they let it expire. Our first choice is to have a bipartisan legislation that allocates specific rental assistance to the people hardest hit, he said. Asked about an Aspen Institute estimate of 30 to 40 million Americans were at risk of eviction. Mnuchin said the estimate was absurdly high, arguing the executive orders on enhanced unemployment benefits would help Americans pay rent. Yeah, but you knock that down from $600 to $300 a week. I tell you what, I don't know what country you think this is. Y'all inflated this economy like this. There are very few people are going to be able to pay rent on $300 a week. I don't know. Where do they think we are? Do they think this is some little island somewhere? I mean, you inflated your economy. So when people are on unemployment, they can barely make it. Okay. I think this is nothing close to what was seen during the 2007 mortgage and housing crisis, Mnuchin said. Well, he's wrong about that because even with the housing crisis, they weren't dealing with a pandemic back then. So I definitely don't agree with him on that. He's wrong. But y'all, and you weren't looking at 58.4 million people unemployed back then either. So he's definitely wrong. But y'all, please tell me what you think about Trump and his political move by doing a moratorium until December 31st for renters in this country. I think something should be done, but I think it should be more extended than 4 months. I think they should do up to a year. I really do. With the way America has handled this pandemic, they have never been able to get a good grip on coronavirus. I mean, just look at the track record over the 7 months we've been dealing with this thing. This country has done worse than every nation on the planet. And trust me, when December 31st come, they're not going to have no more of a grip on this thing than they do now. Please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.